Good day viewers, welcome to another edition of the Daily Strange Stories. I'm John Brown. I hope you're enjoying a relaxing weekend and cherishing quality time with loved ones. Our lead story for today. Senzo Mchunu tries nailing General Mkhwanazi at Ad-Hoc Committee, secret recording backfires, throws President Ramaphosa under the bus as the heat intensifies. Suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu has stepped into a high-stakes battle at the Ad-Hoc Committee, aiming to pin down KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi over claims of threats and resistance. What started as a calculated move with a secret recording has spiraled into a major backlash, pulling President Cyril Ramaphosa right into the center of the storm as tensions rise to new heights. This unfolding saga, rooted in the controversial disbandment of the Political Killings Task Team, or PKTT, reveals layers of intrigue within the nation's law enforcement leadership, where decisions made in private offices now face intense public scrutiny. The drama began late last year when Mchunu, on New Year's Eve in December 2024, personally drafted and issued a directive to shut down the PKTT. He has described this as a deliberate step to address growing concerns he held about the team's operations, including matters that could have sparked demands for a full commission of inquiry if left unchecked. Mchunu has emphasized that he acted with clear judgment, even noting that he remained fully alert and focused while preparing the letter. This was not his first such action. He has pointed out similar directives in the past, like the disbandment of the Police Inspectorate, framing it as routine administrative oversight. As the Ad Hoc Committee probes deeper into allegations of corruption and political interference within the South African Police Service, Mchunu's testimony has brought explosive details to light. He has revealed a strained relationship with General Mkhwanazi, marked by repeated requests from the Commissioner for private meetings to discuss urgent policing issues. These requests went unmet, with Mchunu citing wariness after detecting what he perceived as retaliatory threats. In a precautionary twist, Mchunu instructed his Chief of Staff, Cedric Nkabinde, to record conversations with Mkhwanazi. The idea stemmed from reports of the Commissioner's anger and statements suggesting he would push back against the PKTT's closure. However, this secret recording, played during the committee hearings, has not worked in Mchunu's favor. Instead, it has raised questions about legality and ethics, with the evidence leader, Advocate Norman Arendse, pressing on whether such actions align with laws like the Cyber Act. Mchunu has maintained that the recordings served as a safeguard, unrelated to any ongoing inquiries, and were prompted solely by the heated exchanges. The plot thickens with Mchunu's claims about briefing President Ramaphosa. Following the disbandment, Mchunu secured a meeting, likely in January or February of this year, to inform the president of his decision. He has insisted that Ramaphosa agreed with the briefing provided, though details remain sparse. Mchunu has described it as a short session, not a detailed discussion, where he outlined his serious concerns without presenting reports or extensive reasons. Yet, committee members have challenged this narrative. For instance, evidence suggests Ramaphosa first learned of the PKTT's shutdown through social media, not directly from Mchunu. Furthermore, accounts from Mkhwanazi indicate the president had previously praised the task team publicly, such as during an event in the Northern Cape, casting doubt on any swift agreement. When pressed by figures like Julius Malema for a straightforward answer on whether Ramaphosa endorsed the move, Mchunu has stuck to his affidavit, stating the president concurred with the information shared. This has effectively drawn Ramaphosa into the fray, implying his involvement in a decision now under fire, even as Arendse argues the brief nature of the meeting makes true agreement unlikely. Adding to the intrigue, the committee has examined a WhatsApp message from Mkhwanazi to Mchunu, urging a high-level meeting with the National Commissioner and other senior officials to air organizational grievances. In the recorded audio between Mkhwanazi and Nkabinde, the Commissioner's frustration over the PKTT's fate comes through clearly, highlighting deep rifts in command.
Minister, please forgive for writing this message directly, but I feel that I must respectfully request a meeting in order to deal with internal issues within our organization, which affects me and my family, and has a potential of destabilizing our crime-fighting efforts. I tried to reach out through Nkabinde in his private capacity early in January this year, and late I spoke to him in his capacity as Chief of Staff. And again, I had a special request to the National Commissioner to try and secure the meeting before our appearance before the Portfolio Committee and Police. This situation is escalating, and it has a potential of demoralizing our hard-working members, and there are even politicians that are using these social media posts to sow divisions within the SAPS. I do not like what's happening, hence I feel that the Minister must call us into a meeting.
Yeah, I'm sympathetic to the time. I acknowledge the letter. I have it.
Can I just finish reading it?
Oh, okay.
So that we can iron out everything that is dominating the media space. I do not like, it is my plea that the Minister calls the National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sabia, Lieutenant General Kumalo, myself, Major General Khan, Mr. Nkabinde, and Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi, in order to get to the bottom of the problem. It is the prerogative of the Minister to invite the Executive Director, IPID, if he feels it necessary. I have requested to take a vacation leave tomorrow and Friday, but I can make time if the Minister decides to meet this week. I hope my request will be favorably received, I take it. And then your response. This is your response. Your WhatsApp message was received, will revert at some point. Yes, a very respectful meeting. It doesn't, it's not a demand.
Let me respond, Senior Counsel. I'm saying as a matter of principle, I couldn't convene a meeting like that, where I invite Brown Mkhwanazi, who is outside the organization, who is not part of internal organization if our organization means SAPS, which is my interpretation. Then I call somebody and they say, come and let us discuss internal issues. But secondly, General Mkhwanazi says there are matters that are affecting him and his family. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to have a meeting in terms of response here, to have a meeting with him alone to say, what is the aspect that affects you and your family in the work of the organization and so on, before I could convene a meeting. But generally, on this one, I wouldn't do so. I wouldn't invite Mkhwanazi in a meeting where I'm meeting the generals of SAPS.
So why, Minister, why didn't you just tell him?
I will
revert to you, but you should know. We cannot discuss matters of the importance that you raise with private third parties or private citizens. So yes, I will call a meeting, but it will exclude Mkhwanazi or anyone else that's not an officer that serves in the South African police.
That would
have been a better response.
It would have come in a meeting that, when I rationalized properly after responding to him, that no, the best thing to do is to call General Mkhwanazi alone, and we meet and we discuss this to say, in order to respond with integrity on your WhatsApp, there must be a particular way, but it would definitely exclude Brown Mkhwanazi. But I want to have a meeting with you alone so that you can give an indication of what you want me to discuss. That's what happened. Now, so as a principle, let's separate that. But my thought was I would have a meeting with him so that he could take me to confidence to discuss this matter. I'm not here to justify that which is there I'm not able to tamper with, even though I have power to do so for the betterment of the people of South Africa. I can't agree to that.
But do you accept, Minister, that even if, or where you have the power, this huge responsible power,
yes,
to change things for the better of our country and for our citizens,
yes,
that you also have to consult with people before you exercise that power. The people who are directly affected when you exercise that power. For example, to shut down a political killings task team that our president thought in May 2018, not thought, he came here. He said the political killings, not because he was discriminating or treating killings in KZN different from killings elsewhere in the country. He said this has become a problem and I need a dedicated approach to resolve this problem. It does so. No, can I now speak? So this problem is addressed by the formation of a political task team. He appoints an interministerial committee. Now, we're not going to debate the legality, constitutionality of whether you could disband it or not. But there is the committee. Colleagues with you in your cabinet. Did you not think it was important to engage with them? There is absolutely no indication from your lawyer's notes, from your statement, from your oral evidence here yesterday and today, that you engage with them to say, colleagues, this is now weighing heavily on my mind. It's already heading towards the end of the year. I feel like writing a letter on the 31st of December. Can we discuss this? You discuss it with your deputy ministers, but you don't discuss it with your other ministers. Key players, Minister of Intelligence, Minister of Defense, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development. These are the ministers that form this group. So even if it's a political structure, and even if the task team, according to you, were acting under its direction and it was a political issue, even more reason why you should have consulted with them and engaged with them. Why didn't you?
Now, I just a question first. Are you suggesting that we must ignore the meeting of the 1st and the meeting of the 22nd and remove it from my evidence? That it doesn't exist, even though I say it does exist?
I'm not going to remove anything.
Okay.
Whatever you have said here yesterday, whatever is on paper is part of our record, and it will be taken into account when an evaluation is made by me, by other honorable members of this committee. They, of course, have minds of their own. They're going to evaluate the evidence. I'm asking you a specific question, and I've directed you to the fact that there was this committee, this interministerial, that you have not engaged with your colleagues.
I am happy, Senior Counsel, that you recognize the meeting of the 1st of November. I am happy, Senior Counsel, that you recognize the meeting of the 22nd, where these matters were raised. But in answer to you, there was no dedicated day. There was no dedicated meeting to discuss the National Political Killings Task Team before I wrote the letter of directives. But I am putting it that the directive does indicate the need for a meeting on the 20th of January, that is after, to discuss in the form of a report. I am saying there was also an indication for the need to discuss in the UNESCO later in January. So those matters were recognized, and I'm saying this is a political task team in SAPS, and don't equate it to policing, overall policing in South Africa, to make me feel guilty that I didn't consult on the team specifically in a dedicated manner in a day. Don't make me feel guilty, because I'm not guilty for that. There are many other things that I needed to do and that I would do that would involve everybody and so on. So, and there are many things that I discuss which are fundamental which involved everybody. So don't create an impression that I don't consult, even though I show evidence that I
Minister,
do consult.
Sorry to interrupt
And we
you.
did have meetings.
I didn't create any impression.
I'm
I asked
happy
you
with that.
a question. I put something to you, and then I asked you a question. I put to you that there's no indication from you, either in writing or in your oral evidence, that you ever consulted, and you haven't, still in your response now, you haven't mentioned the interministerial committee. So that is what I put to you, and that's the question I'm asking you, and you're not answering the question whether or not you consulted with your colleagues in cabinet, especially since you're a relatively new minister in that portfolio. You've got other ministers in the cabinet that form part of that committee who have been in their positions for quite a while, who could assist you, they could make an input, they could guide you. You haven't answered that question.
Yes, let me answer. There is no IMC in the 7th administration, like which featured in the 6th administration as a structure that was presiding over the steering committee and any other structure below on the political task team. It doesn't exist in the 7th administration. That is a fact. Secondly, you don't run a department like that. You don't say, just because you have your colleagues, you are going to convene a meeting to discuss any aspect of your department. You discuss in cabinet, you discuss in cabinet committees, you discuss in any other committee or whatever structure that exists. That's how government functions. Now, you can't just convene. You are not president. You can't just convene and say, you are older than me in cabinet. I want you to come and discuss with me some matter. It doesn't work like that. Now, that's number one. Number two, I have indicated that I didn't breach any law. I do want us to have an agreement or a consensus that I didn't convene a meeting with General Masimula, General Mkhwanazi, and General Kumal. Doesn't constitute an offense in the department or anywhere or in the state. It doesn't. That's why I talk about don't impose a feeling of guilt just because I didn't have a meeting with them. It doesn't work like that.
But we're talking about a specific matter here, a task team that was established, they say in accordance with the law. For the first time, you come and your lawyers come and say, actually, that team since 2022 was an unlawful structure. That's open to debate. We're not sitting as a court of law. We'll debate it. We've heard you. I've asked you about the interministerial committee. The short answer after your long answer now has been, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Under the 7th administration, it doesn't. So maybe you can tell us when or where, or in some cabinet committee meeting, or where this initiative of the president has now been abandoned. Maybe you can provide that to the committee. Our focus. So the short answer is that you didn't consult your colleagues. You say you've just been a few months into the position. One would have thought that's even more reason why you should have consulted your colleagues.
No,
because
I didn't have to consult them.
Speak? Just because one of the most important aspects, not only of the political killings task team, but of other specialist dedicated teams, is working together in a multidisciplinary way, which most people seem to accept is the most effective way of dealing with crime, is in a multidisciplinary way, and the contribution that a dedicated prosecutor plays in that role. Because that's one of the important things that the task team established. They have a prosecutor who directs and says, no, I think you need more evidence here. I think you need to get a statement from that one there. That is all directed by the prosecutor so that the case comes to court quicker, and when it does come to court, the case is ready for trial. Now, let me move on from that. I think I've got the answer that I asked you for, and the honourable members have heard your response, and if they want to take it further, they'll get the opportunity.
Did brief the president. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
After the effect, after the 31st.
Yes, I was just questioning whether you could say there was an agreement or that the president agreed with the director, given that it was a briefing and it was short. That's what I was questioning.
Yes.
But if you're happy with the response, then we can move on. Again, I'm not here as a judge to sit and discuss what constitutes an agreement. I've just questioned whether it was appropriate to use.
Just a moment, Honorable Nhlanhla.
Chancellor, thanks, Chair. Just a second. I think it is important for us to explain to the witness why the evidence leader is emphasizing agreement. It's solely because the main witness had casted doubt whether the president would have agreed for a dissolution of a political killings testing. So that's why the evidence leader is emphatic when it comes whether or not the president agreed. Because the main witness went to an extent of saying the president made an address in Northern Cape and he would have applauded the work done by the political killings task team, and therefore the main witness does not believe that the president would have agreed to such a kind of a decision. So that's why the evidence leader is emphasizing on the agreement. Thank you very much, Chair.
May I proceed, Honourable Chair?
He has helped you.
Yeah, I asked.
Just one more moment. Honorable Malem.
No, thanks, Chair. I think we must put it simple because it's going to be a serious issue. Did the president agree to the disbandment of PKTT?
The answer in the affidavit is that I briefed the president. He agreed with the briefing I gave him.
So, Honorable Minister, is the answer yes?
Yes, as is in the affidavit.
The answer is yes. The answer which we must record is yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because the context in which
before you continue, may I check, honourable members, are you satisfied? Can I allow the senior counsel to proceed? Thank you.
Just before we get there, just to round off this issue of an agreement, and this was the context in which I asked you. I had read to you what you told the Portfolio Committee on page 86 and page 87, pages 62 and 63 of the transcribed minute, where you told the Portfolio Committee, and therefore we had a discussion with the President of the Republic, and we are in agreement that we can look into the matter the way that we have looked at it currently. That's the context in which I asked you about this. But perhaps the honourable members can draw their own conclusions, or can ask you questions about it. My job is to put these facts before the honourable committee. And that's what I've read to you, and that's the context in which I asked you. So you say this briefing discussion with the president was in January?
Yes, it was in January or February. I need to check the exact date.
Yeah, and before the March meeting, were you aware that General Masemola also had a discussion with the president?
I wasn't.
Okay. I mentioned it to you, but is this the way you conducted things in your office?
No. No.
Okay,
There's
then
no-
maybe we'll ask him for a reason why he recorded Mkhwanazi without his consent, or is there a legal reason that you as a minister and your chief of staff can record conversations with people under the Cyber Act or some legislation?
Now, we don't record people. I'm not aware of anybody in my office who have ever recorded a person, but in this instance, it's me who advised the chief of staff to say, you may need to record your conversations with General Mkhwanazi because of the threats. It was not because for the commission, I wasn't thinking about the commission or any other thing, because he kept on saying, General Mkhwanazi is angry. When a person says so-and-so is angry with you, you take it serious.
So can we just understand that even before this recording, Mkhwanazi had phoned Gabinde and spoke to him in a threatening? Because who decided that his conversation must henceforth be recorded?
First, he just told me that there's a threat. He's angry. He's saying 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then he came back, I think third time in one day, as they continued to talk. And at some point, I felt that the way things are developing, it looks like they're developing fast, and they've got anger inside, but they now have threats inside. Now, when he mentioned this one of if the minister knows he's clean, no, I think it came before that one that I said. Now we may now need to record. It was after he spoke about fight back. I don't think fight back was recorded, but I think it was at that point when I said, being experienced as I am, I felt that this may develop to something else. Then I said record, but that one of threatening on what I may have left in the Premier's office.
He does. Yeah, because that's what they're going to do.
Because if you tamper with the police, yet you are not clean, police will go after you. I will stop there, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you so much. Honorable Minister, is this the part that you wanted us to hear?
It doesn't seem that it is a part, it's another conversation, but it may be that conversation, that part of the conversation between the two was not the one when he had started recording, but he did, we did talk with Chief of Staff, but I'm fine at this stage.
What we should do now, we were stepping out of this audio because it's not what you want.
I'm fine.
Then at your time,
I'm fine.
Get the evidence that you want to bring it here to us.
Yeah, it may have not started when they started recording. It may have been said before they started recording, but they did discuss it. They did tell me that.
And then maybe next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, time permitting.
Thank you.
We will look at how we deal with that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, I was saying to the minister, on Tuesday, he must come with that part. Because we need to hear that part. It's very important. Not those things of where the minister is being threatened, that conversation, because, and the legal team must help us there, his legal team, just to cut that portion and then come and play it on Tuesday. Whether we're proceeding with the SC or it's our turn. Either way, we'll need that.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this news bulletin. Please share your opinion in the comments section. We would be glad to read and respond to your comments. Let's meet again tomorrow in our next strange story. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a relaxing Sunday.